First and foremost, a little caution to the audience. The earlier session was about managing wealth, family office. And this is a very, very different topic that we are discussing. It is not about wealth, it's about managing family dynamics. It's more that emotional part, not that physical money part. And second thing is just to, for the making record straight, this management program for family businesses was started in SPJIMR in 1987. And I had been associated with that program all along till 2014. And in 2014, in another institute, with name may sound similar, but is a separate institute, it's called SP Jain School of Global Management, where we have started a program called Global Family Managed Business, which is a management program for family business. Just that was to correct the part of introduction that was there. This there is a family business, a lot of discussions, lot of seminars, lot of books, and when you do PhD, you have to go through a lot of literature. One hand, you find few terms. One, something about generation, first generation, second generation, third generation, and some statistics. Another side, you find that presentation of three circles overlapping with each other and then some good explanation about it. Third, lot of discussion going on about some hotel in Japan, which is there for now 1200 years, and as a role model, and the whole importance of continuity in family businesses. And discussion coming around on family constitutions, writing, designing and thinking through and writing and implementing family constitution. And another side is something called family council. There are two more very, very important prescriptions prevalent in this whole discussion. One is about succession planning, and another is about professionalization. And these two are projected as if, without all this, the whole family business are going to die, and these are the things that is required. Lot of literature is on this 6 family related concepts. Again, to tell you once again that to do PhD, I had to go through all this literature. I attended a program in IMD, and I can see a lot of work being done on that. But on the other side, last 23 years, working with 5,000 families in India, I get a feel about what is going on the ground. And then I find some of the things clearly applicable, some of the things need modification, and some of the things cannot be applied to Indian context. Now, what is the basic difference of context? Industrial revolution took place in Europe almost 200 years ago. Since then, industry and technology has been evolving in the West with a long history. In India, the history had a different turn. Raw material was grown in India, were sent to Europe, processed products were coming to India, were sold in India. This whole, being a British colony till 1947, it had its own impact. Post-independence came the thrust on public sector. So huge setups were there. Then came the tragic part, 62 war, 65 war, 71 war. So really speaking, for majority of the businesses, it was very, very difficult time to even start or to stabilize. So in those days, the skill required was not so much about business as much as about managing the environment, ability to get licenses, ability to get bank project finance, and all those kind of things. Post 1977-78, many of the things started changing. Large number of peasant big families had their beginning in almost that era, 1975 to 1985. 1985 to 99, business people could say that we are in business. 95 to 2002 was a tough period. There was a recession all over the world. India was no exception. Real estate prices came down half. Post 2002, businesses have grown phenomenally, and our students come from every corner of the country, every kind of businesses, and almost everyone said one line: हमने इतना पैसा कमाया जो सपने में भी नहीं सोचा था. They want so much money which we had not even dreamt. The point was, when these people were young and they were dreaming, lakh itself was a very big figure. And today, we talk about 10 crore and 100 crore and 1,000 crore. So, implication of all this is what? Indian families are comparatively younger. To talk about fourth generation and fifth generation and sixth generation may be suitable to a context where businesses have been there for 200 years. Comparatively, 98% of my student profile family businesses are much, much younger. There is a second context which is very unique in Indian thing, is very, very strong family culture coming based on three systems. There was a caste system, Gajmani system, and panchayat system. Now, caste system meant what? Each person is good in doing specific work, something like specialization, something like division of labor. So people do what they are good at, and everybody is equal. That is what was the caste system. When one caste starts believing they are superior than the other, then the problem starts. Indian family system was based on that. Every member of the family have their own abilities, own competence, own capabilities, and they should do what they're good at. But in family, everyone is equal. The day when in such family, one person starts thinking that I am doing everything, I am better than others, that is where the crack starts. Second system I mentioned was about Jajmani system. It meant what? It meant mutual help and mutual support. In a village, in a large community, in a kind of people living together, the whole idea is to help each other and no accounts are kept. Helping is a part of life. Same was the situation in family systems. In family, you take care of everyone. And if you are good, take care of the rest. This part of mutual help was very much essential component of this. And the third system was Panchayati Raj, where there was a Sarpanch who was not only supposed to be fair, but had to make sure that he is perceived as fair among the people. And when people perceived Sarpanch as fair, they looked up to him for whatever he would say. In family system, head of the family acted more or less in the same role, yet to make sure that there is a fairness in the system. The day the head of the family starts talking something more about my son than my brother's son, then the issue starts taking place. So in Indian context, this kind of background, joint family systems remained for a long time. And even they are there in many parts of the country. Among many families, you have 30, 40 family members staying together with no personal background, no personal salaries, and a beautiful way of working. Anyway, times changed. People required to be separate, and slowly, slowly, nuclear families started. Slowly, slowly, separation started. But the roots of that family system are so deep in each Indian family member that somewhere, even if that separation takes place, it's not a pleasant thing. Cherishing family values are essential part of life. Divorces can take place, but it's not something that is so easily acceptable or so easily digestible to people. Separation among family members, separation from parents does take place, but is with a heavy heart because of that strong family culture. They are not talking about whether in other parts of the world it is there or not. It is not my area. My area is that in Indian context, one part is about this businesses being young, another part of this family bond. And then there is a third part, which is a cultural part. One American lady came to an Indian family and she was to do some research, social research. Generally, they would prefer to stay in hotel, but because of her subject, she had to stay with one Indian family. Well, Indian family was a beautiful host, so they were very happy with an American lady staying with them. Provided her a room and everything, and started living life. After a week, 10 days, this American lady asked the hostess, "Can I ask you a question?" "Sure, why not?" "No, no, no, but it is a personal question and you may not like." "Should I?" "Please go ahead, no problem. Ask the question. If you don't feel like answering, don't answer because this is interference and you ask question." No, the hostess got little uh, frustrated. Ask, impatient. So the American lady asked the question, "Is there any problem between your son and daughter-in-law?" The hostess said, "I don't think so. I think it's fine. But what made you believe so?" And here is the sentence worth attending to. The American lady said, "I am here now for more than a week. Every day I notice that when your son is going to work, your daughter-in-law, his wife, comes along up to the door. But I have never seen them hugging and kissing. Is there anything wrong between the two?" And here the hostess laughed. And then she said, that, "See, this is a culture difference. In some other culture, the expression has to be explicit. I have to tell someone that I love you. In Indian culture, there is a lot of thing is implicit. When you are explicit, you are very gross. Your implicit is very subtle. You know what is the way in India when a husband or when a wife tells husband that I love you? She never expresses like this. She asks her this question, "Rumal liya kya?" Have you taken your handkerchief? And that's it. Now you look at it. In this question, when a husband is going to office and wife comes up to the door and asking him a question, whether have you taken your handkerchief, is an expression to say that I love you, because You have a tendency to forget handkerchief, and you will have, if you forget, it may have been difficult and inconvenient for you. So I care for you. So I am asking you whether you have taken handkerchief. So it is very fine, subtle, not very gross. And this is so even in all behavior across. When we talk about family dynamics, there may be disagreement, but it will not be gross. It will be very subtle. There are so many houses, they talk about writing family constitution. One or two family members get the idea we should get family constitution. Everybody says, okay, go ahead. Then they say, no, no, but we all have to discuss. They say, you make whatever you want. Tell me where to sign. And they sign. When the constitution is being made, they don't want to discuss. But when there is a difference, then when you point out the constitution, they say, yes, maybe I have signed. So what? I don't agree now. This is a particular challenge. We have a culture of pretension. If somebody meets me on the road, I'm a Gujarati, and we are supposed to tell each other that come home. But it does not mean come home. It just means exchanging the stroke. Just like somebody else will say, how are you? Gujaratis will say, come home. That's all. It does not mean that you should start walking with him and go to home, because that will be serious problem. So here the whole language system is, if I tell that I agree with you, it does not mean that I agree with you. And this whole aspect becomes a very, very important when we talk about understanding family dynamics. We have tremendous impact of Confucius values, one of which is that all the elders have the dream not so much about themselves as much as about their children. They do have a feeling of pride, not so much about themselves as much as about their children. And it is like taken as a duty that it is my thing to take the whole wealth and whatever it is for my generations. That is the dream. I may live in a very simple form of life, but for them it should be a great thing. And correspondingly, it is taken for granted that youngs will take care of the parents. In the old days of parents, young children will take care of them, will protect them, will support them, will handle them, and all that. So this family part need to be kept in mind whenever we bring in this concept of family processes, family management processes, many of them which has originated in another culture, in another context. When we bring to Indian context, we have to keep that in mind. We also have a what you call environmental constraint. In India, there is no welfare support system. Something goes wrong, the only place to go back is the family. There is this whole dependency on family and community, where medical need, age-related needs has to be attended by family. So the role of family in the life of each individual is little different. The family has a higher stakes in the individual, and the individual has higher dependence on the family. As far as the environment is concerned, we have a weak legal system. A person makes the will. It does not mean that it can be executed. A constitution is made, but it does not mean that it can be enforceable. The whole legal documents, the process is quite complex and is a very lengthy. I was executor in 2 or 3 wills, and one of the things, will was challenged. And I was told that now it is a matter of a cost of at least rupees 1 crore and above, and minimum 15 years to settle the issue. This whole legal system is a reality of our life in India. So whenever we talk about anything, we have to keep that context in mind. In this kind of legal system, enforcement of any contract is difficult. I may sign a contract with you, I default, you want to challenge it, go to the court. And it may take 10, 15 years. So this sheer duration of the litigation is so frightening. Majority of the people don't even go for litigation. Then our banking system. We have a very unique banking system where banks are so holy. If something goes wrong with the bank, banks are not blamed. Business people are blamed. If there is a corruption in the banking system whereby they ended up giving loans to the businessmen, out of turn, no problem with the bank. It is the businessman which will be caught. Business people, particularly small and medium-sized business people, they have to get money, or rather they have to have money if they want to get money. So there is a hypothecation of stock, then there is a collateral and over and above personal guarantee. Now, when in business I have borrowed money and when it is personal guarantee, somewhere I attended a session called Professionalization and you should let others run the business. How can I? If we commit some blunder, he will resign and go. My personal guarantees will be invoked. This makes Indian families highly insecure and uncertain to give up the reins of the business. Now, this banking requirements, unlimited liability, we have a law called Companies Act talking about limited liability, but a private limited company, but in a small and medium enterprise, cannot get money without giving personal guarantee. So we have unlimited liability. The corporate governance standards, not only in family businesses, but all across, are poor. And what matters is personal relations. If I want to get work done, personal relations are important. And if that is so, owner, that is the businessman, need to remain in business because he has to build personal relation. If my manager builds personal relation, tomorrow he resigns and joins my competitor, which in so-called professional world is not called anything wrong. In my view, it's thoroughly wrong, but in professional world, it is not. My employee can join my competitor. Now, if that is so, if the relations are of employee, he goes along with him, the relation goes. I can't afford. So family members have to retain key managerial task. These things are very, very unique and important to be kept in mind. Largely what I have worked with, you see, in India, there are big families, Godrej and Birlas and Tatas and all, but they are few. Majority of the businesses are small and medium. All of them, as I mentioned to you earlier, are young. They are young, they are small, banking is limited, they cannot grow phenomenally. So they have resource constraint. If somebody rupees 10 lakhs for man drafting my constitution is out of the radar for majority of them. Forget about constitution, even running the business. Paying 10 lakhs as a CTC, 20 lakhs as a CTC is beyond radar for big number of businesses. But they are family businesses and they do need family governance. They cannot attract right talent. And even if they attract, the way of working, the culture are so different between a large company and a small company that to retain such professional is very, very difficult. So resource constraint on one side, that is financial resources, and then human resource constraint on the another side is equal to what? Key family members have to play a role in the business. So when we attend seminar, we realize the value of professionalization. We also will like to do professionalization in our company, but fear remains in our head. If he ends up giving credit to a large number, and if that money does not come, he can very well resign and go, but where will I go? The buck stops at me, and life is so insecure. And if particularly if I have taken a borrowing from the bank, everything that I have to pay back into ashes in a no period of time. In this whole context, when we talk about what does family business need, three cycles, three circles: owner, business, management. As far as Indian family businesses are concerned, the most overlapping position, that is the central position, becomes the very, very important strength of the family business. That person there handles the family also, ownership also, business also. This task is not divided among multiple where you need coordination. So this whole three cycle syndrome taught all over the world as the pulling against each other direction. For a small and medium family business person, it becomes the key strength. That is the reason why they continue to grow. That is the reason why they can take quantum jump. That is the reason they make money. Same way, when we talk about first generation and second generation and third generation, these people may change the business. We have been given examples of houses like Mafatlal's or many others which were key at once upon a time, and now they are not on the radar. It's not so much because of the family dynamics. Family dynamics there was a result, was not the cause. The real cause was changing environment. They became big. Their key competence of managing environment. Now, when the time changed, where the key competence required was to manage competition, they were not prepared. So it is the key competence need change, because of which family problem become big. In all the families, one of the most important thing is this: when going is good, is okay. You can ask me to sign anything. I'll be happy. We can discuss anything. It is when it is a trouble time, then what do? We all have personal withdrawals and we have personal assets. And now in company, there are heavy losses and we need to put money. What do? These are the real challenges. So when things are going good, happy-go-lucky, everybody will talk everything. But the real tensions come in trouble times. And this is the time when some basics of Indian family system, and I would say it could be true for every family system in the world, but I know about Indian family system, so I can tell you that needs to be important. Rule number one: disagree and commit. We are four brothers. We are walking through somewhere. We find a deep pit, very big pit. My elder brother says, "It seems something nice may be there. We should go in and explore." I said, "Look, there doesn't seem to be any way out." My younger brother said, "Hey, you are always worried. Have some courage. Take adventure." "What do you say?" He asked the four brother. He says, "Okay." Now three of them are saying we should go in. I told them there is no way out. That's what I could see. Now what should I do? Should I go with them or not? Here is the rule number one: disagree, whatever it is. In the family, people should fight, but once whatever is decided, submit to it 100%. disagree, but commit. So I go with them inside. We go, we explore whatever it is that was to explore. And now the fourth brother says, बाहर जाने का रास्ता नहीं है. There's no way to go out now. What should I do? Should I start dancing to say, I told you so? This particular word, I told you so, needs to be banned in the family. We all should have different views. But once you put their views on the table, they are no more your views. They are views of the table. And we should not say, I told you so. There is a very, very important reason behind it. In the family where I told you so is allowed, there is a secret prayer that things should go wrong so that I can say, I told you so. And last number, rule number 3, it's called n minus 1. If we have 4 brothers, then 4 minus 1, 3. Every 3 times, every out of 4 decisions, 3 times, I will have to learn to give up, even if I'm right. Incidentally, everybody is always right from their context. But in the decision, I feel it should be done with, but for the sake of family, I need to give up. These are the 3 rules that makes the importance of working within the Indian context. In Indian situation, succession planning is important, but more important is induction planning. Grooming the next generation to get involved in the business is an extremely important task. Constitution about defining the rights of each one is required, but the responsibilities of each one need to be explicit or implicit. More important is to be realized and agreed to. In Indian family business context, the role of family women need to be redefined. All Indian family businesses have accepted women employees, but family women, what should be their role need to be discussed, need to be debated. Should daughter be involved in father's business or not? Should daughter-in-law get shares in the company or not? We cannot say what is right or wrong, but at least that need to be debated. Because of the whole personal things that get involved, owner's stake has to be very high. But owner's stake remaining high still, how can we build organization with professionals, with systems and processes, and managing still the high stakes of the owner? These are the issues that need to be kept in mind. Here, our debate is not family first or business first. Our debate is both family and business. Business is also our child. Business is actually a part of the family. And this managing this paradox, apparently opposing forces, still remaining together, is the beauty of family business. I need to just suggest one thing. Last 23 years working with family businesses, I've heard a lot criticism about so many things that goes wrong in Indian family businesses. My experience is other way around. Indian family business system is beautiful, is tremendous, is working very well, and is doing so well that if at all we are talking today of India rebounding, is not because of few corporate sector. It is the large number of family businesses in India which continues to manage the paradox of the family, remain optimist, and continues to grow. So my submission, I will close here because of time of respecting the time of the conference. Indian context has a certain unique aspect, and whenever we bring family governance concepts, we need to keep this context in mind. Thank you very much.